right when humanity was finally starting to get leisure time, the way that only the aristocracy had enjoyed for thousands of years. I'm talking people like you, me, farmers, blue-collar workers, people in factories. The time when these people were finally able to do things with their free time at scale, meaning they were able to start businesses and create art and create connections, create community in such a way that would also affect the world. So obviously a medieval peasant could have conceivably done a little trading in his free time or painted a picture, maybe. That didn't really happen, but it could have happened. But only in the late 1800s to early 1900s could someone like that actually put the art out and make something of their life and also contribute collectively to civilization from their relatively meager place on the social ladder. But the very moment that those people were able to do that, that people like you and me were able to actually do something with our free time, something to help us and to help the world, to help build civilization, the technology for television, the technology for radio, and eventually the technology for iPhones and algorithmic entertainment came right along to swallow that free time. And this doesn't necessarily have to be this way. There's no rule in history that says the moment people get leisure time, people invent devices for entertainment, for passive entertainment. But that just happens to be the way that it turned out. And maybe we're inclined to say, well, that's just how it has to be. This is how the 20th century occurred, and this is how the 21st century is rolling. We started with 1930s radio sets, the family wholesomely listening, all together, collectively enjoying a bit of passive entertainment after a long, hard day at work. And then we roll forward 100 years, and now we have 13-year-olds who don't do anything except scroll on TikTok, who have no attention span, who can't feel happy because their dopamine receptors are so fried, whose parents don't know how to talk to them about healthy content consumption because the parents, too, are hopelessly and completely addicted. And then that's also paired with the fact that many people around the world now live in unwalkable suburbs, especially in America, meaning you're stuck in your house until you're 16 or older, and even then, because at that point you've become addicted to the safety and security of passive entertainment and dopamine, you're stuck even if you can drive, even if you do feel you have places to go. What this means is that all of us need to reconsider the fact, this accident of history, this fact that technology for entertainment came in right when people were finally able to do something with their lives besides farm and survive and work nose to the grindstone. The fact that this happened means that our species has been denied absolutely infinite amounts of innovation, of greatness, even of pleasure. The moment everyone, to the lowest to the highest, the greatest to the smallest, could have been doing something with their time, that time was denied to them individually and to us collectively. We were robbed of the privilege of using our time to improve the world. And the thing is I bet you're thinking that people that are geniuses, the next Mozart, the next Thomas Edison, the next whatever, is going to do his thing or her thing no matter what. That a little iPhone, a little bit of TikTok isn't going to affect them. And this is a massive mistake. It's one of the most stupid underlying beliefs when we're thinking about policy and technology. The idea that great people are just going to be great no matter what. The fact that no matter how many regulations we have, people are still going to start businesses and build the economy. That no matter how horrible our school systems are, the smart kids are still going to be okay and be geniuses and create nuclear fusion for us eventually. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true. I've worked in public schools around the world at this point, and I have seen that it's hurting the smart kids too. It's hurting everyone. The kids who would have been borderline illiterate, even without phones, are now just, it's unspeakable. They're so behind, you can't even imagine it. And they're not building street smarts either. That's the stereotype, right? The kid who's not so book smart, he's socially kind of in tune. He's got connections, he's got friends. He knows how to move and navigate the world better maybe than the really book smart kid. Now, that kid has neither. He can't read, he can't talk to people, he's stuck inside, he's doing nothing. And then on the other hand, the smart kid, his smartness is honestly in some ways being exploited by entertainment, specifically for smart, ambitious kids, video games. Video games get their hooks into a kid, say a game like Dota, or even a game like chess as it's played now. It gets their hooks in, and it just kind of takes what might have been used to actually affect the world and uses that energy instead for making numbers go up in a little video game. And so that kid who might have been a rocket scientist or whatever spends the formative years when you need to be building the foundation to get into a good school, to develop the capacity of your working memory, of your attention span, to work on difficult problems, to work on physics problems, that is being eroded. And that is what I see. I mean, there are literally kids who I know that could be a great mathematician, who could be a great scientist. But now they've been spending the last 6 years, from like 9 years old to 17, doing nothing but destroying their attention spans. And so now you're going to tell me they're just going to be brilliant anyway, that that's not going to have any permanent effect? We need to start treating these technologies like drug crises, like a public health crisis, much like drugs, that kind of started in the early 20th century, that has gathered momentum as the drugs have gotten more potent and more powerful. And now what we have is a widespread global public health crisis. Kids stay inside, they don't develop themselves, and by the time they're working adults, by the time they're the crop of people that needs to be inventing the next generation of technologies, the next generation of policy solutions, the next generation of art, they're not going to be able to do it. Because right now, guys, they can't do much of anything. The old people are affected and the young people are affected. And in this way, all this leisure time, all this relaxation, all this stuff that we've been gifted by previous generations through the intergenerational gift of wealth and of technologies that save labor, that keep us from having to work in fields all day, all of these gifts are being squandered so you can lay in bed and play on your iPhone. And you know what? If you're 35 and that's what you want to do, that's fine. But do not tell me that it's okay for kids to be doing that. Do not tell me that there isn't going to be effect of every single unit of brain power in this world, instead of being used on starting a rock band, starting a science project, starting something, all of that brain power is being used on consumption. It's all being used on, the smart kids, the middle kids, all kids. This is what they're doing. Go and look. This is not okay. This is something that is going to radically transform the world if we don't start to take action right now. That's all.